All right, so I was just up in Idaho, and I was having a conversation with, let's just say, my parents, and I asked them, do they consider me an addict? I wanted to know their thoughts on it and how they thought on it, because I know that they probably learn different things in the way I think about it now and my perspective of it. So what they said was it's the old AA disease format where, yeah, like I would definitely, they said to me, yeah, I would definitely consider you an addict, but in recovery, a recovering addict. And obviously, I mean, that's a good way to look at it. That's the way that they probably heard and learned to look at it, is that way. And that's the way I used to look at it too. So, but I was kind of telling them, like, I wanted to discuss it more and say, well, I don't consider myself an addict. I don't think that if I went out and if I had a drink or I used a drug, then that would necessarily spiral me out of control. Does it have the potential to? Yes, absolutely. I'm not going to argue that it doesn't. But at the same time, I'm not going to give up my dignity of choice, right? I'm not going to say it would, because ultimately it comes down to a choice. Am I going to let that happen? And no, I don't think I would. But the bottom line is I'm not going to even test that. I'm not going to find out, right? That's not what I'm going to do. So I was trying to look through my videos to try to send my dad a video of how I consider addiction for myself. And I know throughout that I put seeds and I say it, but I don't say it in the correct way, I don't think. So I want to kind of tell you what I think addiction is, but more thoroughly. So what I think addiction is, for me, like I was 16 the first time I shot heroin, and I was very young the first time I was given a pill, and for some reason opiates just clicked with me. That was, I've always drank, you know, I smoked weed, I did all this other stuff, but opiates were like that higher level. And it's different for people. Some people react better to uppers, and some people react better to suppressants, to downers, like opiates or Xanax. And opiates are what did it for me. And so the first time I took an opiate, it was what was it? I don't know, it was like a Vicodin, hydrocodone. It was a little 7.5 milligram pill. And I took that and I cried all night. Like, I just felt so fucking good. It's what I needed. There was a lot of stuff going on with my family, and it felt really good to take that and to kind of get that emotional release that I didn't know how to do myself. I didn't know how to get rid of that baggage. I didn't know how to talk about it. I didn't know how to articulate it. I didn't know who to go to. I didn't know what to do. But what I think happened is I just took that pill, and that's what did it for me. I didn't have the tools to connect with my emotional side, to connect with that side of myself and talk to somebody about it and connect with someone about it. I didn't know how to do that. So that's kind of what happened. And I grew up and I did drugs more, and I partied with my friends, and eventually came down to heroin and a syringe, and then it just got harder and harder. Then I went to rehab, and then that's where the disease model was presented to me. And that's where I kind of fell in the trap. I think it's a trap, believing that addiction is a disease, which I don't believe. I don't believe that someone in addiction can't make a conscious decision to stop using drugs. I don't believe that for 1 second. That hasn't been my experience. That hasn't been what I've seen. I think for some people that's probably a very powerful thing, is to say, well, I can't really be held accountable because it was the drugs making all those decisions. It's the drugs that wants more drugs. It's not me. No, I mean, no, it's you. It's you. And that's what really got me, that's what helped me so much. Okay, let's start from the beginning of where my mindset really started to change. Just went to rehab and just got out, and I relapsed within like a fucking couple days of going from the house into a day treatment center, and then going back to work. Right before I went back to work, I used drugs, and then obviously I went to the outpatient. I told them, and then this guy kept calling me. He's like, dude, look, you need to get, he's the recruiter. He's the dude that goes and talks to people to get people to go into the rehab. And he starts calling me. He's like, dude, you need to come back in. Like, this isn't good. And I knew that if I didn't go and do something, I was going to keep using. I was going to keep getting high because that's what I wanted at the time. That's what I still wanted to do. Even though I didn't want to, I still wanted to, if that makes sense. Like I sat there and I told myself, like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I want anything. I just want to get rid of that desire. But I still wanted to do it. It's very weird. It's very confusing. And so I was talking to him like, all right, man, I agree with you. I need to go back in the house. So what do I need to do? And this guy, he was a successful guy. He said, look, you need to go talk to the CEO of your company and you need to tell him exactly what's going on and what you need to do. And he will respect your honesty. He will respect you for that. So that's what I did. And that was the first step that really started changing things for me, because what I did differently was I took action and I was honest. So I went in there and told the CEO, like, look, I've been back a week, but I need to go back in. I need to go back in. I told him why I'm using, like, I need to go back. I don't know what to do. I can't. I need to go back. So I went through all that, and then I went back in the house, and I went inpatient for like 40 or 50 days. And within the first few weeks in there, they were pretty hard on me, but I started looking at myself harshly too. And what I came to believe is that I just used people. I was completely selfish. Not just with drugs, just me as a person. Like, my baby mama would come and visit, and I'm like, but bring me a fucking pack of smokes. And one time she didn't have her ID, so I sat there trying to figure out a way. While she had stuff to do, she had stuff going on, but I sat there running around trying to get someone to let me go with her so I could get myself cigarettes. And because she didn't have her ID, I had mine, so I had to go with her. But that just proves, like, I'm not there asking her, like, telling her, like, thank you for even coming and seeing me. Like, thank you for taking time out of your day to come and be with me where I am because of my own selfish decisions. Instead of saying that, I said, well, let's figure out a way that I can benefit more from this situation, right? So that's my mindset. I'm still in that addict mindset, which is help me. Me. I need more, right? That's where I was in. So I realized that, and I realized that, fuck, I don't really love or care about anyone but myself, man, because what have I done to prove otherwise? Nothing, dude. Nothing. I was still, even not using drugs, I was still an absolute fuck, dude. Oh my God. And so it took realizing that, and then being honest with myself and critical with myself and my behaviors, and thinking about all the times that I fucked people over and I put drugs above everyone else in my life, and how many times I've just made completely selfish decisions. And it's fucked up, man. It's fucked up as shit. But that was the first big step, was going and being completely honest with the CEO and taking action, because that was hard to do. I never thought I'd ever do anything like that. And I went in there, I told him, and then, like, it was all, that was the start. That's what projected me into whatever fucking happened, into where I am today. And the conclusion I've come to is, I know I've said this in past videos, is that addiction is a state of perception. If I believe I'm an addict, if I believe I'm addicted to drugs, then that's what I'm going to do. But it's more than that. It's so crazy how much of your mind is consumed by drugs when you're in the state of addiction. That's literally all you think about. That's all you do. You don't think about anything else. You think about, am I high? And if you're high, then you're just high. You're out of it. Or you think about, how am I going to get high, right? That's what you think about. So, I mean, it's just completely selfish, but it's all revolves around that drug. Okay? So ultimately, it's the mind. It's your mind that is addicted to drugs. And one thing that I gained last time I was in a rehab was that separation, was that spirituality, where I don't consider myself my mind. I don't consider myself my thoughts. Okay, and having that separation has been one of the greatest things for me, because I can have crazy thoughts, I can have irrational thoughts, I can have sad, depressing thoughts, I can have angry thoughts, and I can kind of look at them I can look at them biasly. It's a subject object, right? I forget which is which, but my mind is the object and I'm the subject, right? I think there's a separation there. I consider myself, my energy, my soul, whatever you want to call it, right? So that is one of the biggest things is when I realized that, when I started to believe that. And maybe some people think it's fucking crazy, but guess what? I don't give a fuck. You're fucking crazy. And that was the beginning, man. You cannot identify yourself with your thoughts. You have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And I guarantee if you pay attention to every single one of those, even if you try to write them all down for 30 seconds or 5 minutes, however long, you would be like, what the fuck? Like, what's up with this? Dude, that's what all your mind does. That's its entire job, is to sit there and think and go and go and go and go. And you can never shut it off, okay? So your conscious mind, that's all it does, is just sit there and think and think and think and think. And you can label yourself and you can tie emotion to any thought you want, but just realize you have a choice in that. You have a choice what thought you're going to choose. Or what, say someone calls me a fucking faggot. What am I going to do about it? Am I going to get pissed at them because they call me fucking faggot? Are we throwing hands? Or am I going to say, wow, like, okay, this guy is being degrading, like this guy's an asshole, whatever, and I can just walk away because I know who I am, right? No, it's how you interpret the thoughts, right? That's everything. It's not the thought itself, it's how you interpret it. So in addiction, though, you sit there and you tell yourself, I need this. It's a disease. I can't get over this unless I'm doing this, and jumping through all of these hoops, right? It's a disease, and that they tell me this is what I need to do. Like, no, just stop that. Just stop identifying yourself like that. Just stop thinking that because you think you need to do something, you need to do it. That's not true, man. That's not true at all. Don't sell yourself that fucking short, please. Okay, because just realize you're not your thoughts. Okay, you have thousands and thousands of fucking thoughts, okay? Just realize that and stop identifying yourself with them. Stop living your day-to-day, letting your thoughts and your mind control you. Okay? Your mind is a perfect tool, or it's perfect to fucking hold you captive, to keep you in slavery, man. You can use your mind to benefit you, or it can keep you trapped. That's the ultimate thing. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna choose, right? For me, it seems like some people are just stronger with that. They know that. I mean, that's even how exercise works. Go look up fucking David Goggins. It's you. That's why I love exercise. That's why I love cardio. It's because you're conquering that side of you. You're conquering your mind. Your mind's telling you stop. You're tired. You're sweating. Look at all this. But you can keep fucking going all fucking day, baby. You can keep going all day. Alright? That is the basis of it. That's what I believe addiction is. And you know what? One thing I don't give myself is fucking credit, because a year ago, 2 years ago, dude, I was doing nothing but just trying to get by. I was doing nothing but just trying to not use drugs. When today it's, fuck that. Like, that's not even my thing, dude. Like, that's not, I don't wake up in the morning like, fuck, I hope I don't get high. Like, no, motherfucker, I just don't get high. All right? I mean, I've come so far mentally, and just my whole perspective on life and myself in general, dude. I don't give myself enough credit. I'm too hard on myself. I'm too analytical. I think too much about everything instead of like, dude, I'm doing pretty fucking well right now. I mean, could I be doing better? Probably. Could I have more? Probably. But I'm doing pretty fucking good, man. In every aspect, I think. I mean, I'm striving. I'm doing the best I can. I'm making good decisions. I mean, I'm doing pretty fucking well. And it's good to recognize that with yourself, because I can drive myself insane thinking about what else I could possibly be doing. But I'm doing pretty well right now. And I need to stop constantly having the drive or the desire to do more and more and more, because that's not always the best thing to be doing. But that's it. Thanks, guys.